Kapan kampus bahasa Inggris Internasional? Ini hari Kak?
Kak, aman kan? Aman? Aktif? Aktif?
Aktif ini.
Aktif ini kan?
Itu kan di belakang.
Harus kak lewasi ini.
Di belakang itu.
Harus kak lewasi ini.
Apa di belakang tadi? Bukan tidak punya ruang kalau malu. Jangan. Kita start screen ya. Kita start. Karena
Biar ini dulu ke ibu. Kapan pembahasan Inggris kita saja?
Setelah ini.
Setelah ini? Kalau setelah ini di stop lagi dong.
Setelah ini lagi-lagi
Stop
ya.
lagi ya.
Lagi. Asal dia.
Stop baru mulai kembali.
Masih ada 3 kak. Aman. Selo.
Alright, we will now proceed with the debate. You have 30 seconds to introduce yourself. Your time starts now.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear ladies and gentlemen, our judges and our respected opponents. So, we are from Bali and allow me to introduce our team. My name is Mutia Febrianti as the first speaker, and this is Balkis Akila Hoirun Nada as the second speaker, and this is Khaira Ribnu Zanjabila as the third speaker. We are come here to support the motion that the book of Torah needs to be reconstructed to support the global movement to mitigate climate change. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, honorable judges, respected opponents, and all of my audiences. Here we are. We proudly represent to you all as the delegation from Banten Province. I'd like to introduce you our team. My name is Nabila Shazizara, and beside me is Salima Amalia, and beside me is Anissa Septiani. And we, from the opposition team, we'd like to say that we strongly disagree or reject this motion due to some reasons. And this motion says that Torah need to be reconstructed to support the global movement in the climate change mitigation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now, the affirmative team, please state your arguments. 4 minutes starts now.
Okay, before we are going to our argument, I would like to give the scope of problem of this motion. Okay, our motion is the book of Surah needs to be reconstructed to support global movement to mitigate climate change. The book of Surah here in this context considered as the legacy of Islamic knowledge, which is born, but it was born in a different period context, so it's not relevant with our nowadays context. And then needs to be reconstructed here, dealt with a lot the essential of Torah, which but dealt with the environmental crisis, the nowadays issues as like the environmental issues and then the climate changes. And then to support the global movement, support here is to encourage, to strengthen or give the real contributions to the certain movement. And then mitigation of climate change. This refers to the effort to decrease the bad impacts of the climate changes as like the pollution, the global warming, and also the water crisis and then the damage of environmental. The mitigation of climate change can be realized through the green policy, the public awareness, and also the social ecological responsibility. Why should we reconstruct the Torah? Because the Torah have a potential to give the strong moral and the spiritual guidance to realize the mitigation of climate change. In Islam, we have the law for all nature concept, and then we have the steward concept. We have the responsibility to maintain our environment. So that's why we should reconstruct our book of Torah because of it's not relevant with the nowadays context. With reconstruct the Torah, we can involve all of Muslims around the world to contribute the mitigation of climate change, to do the effort of environmental rescue.
Classical texts require context legislation to address modern challenges, including climate change. Studies highlight that critical and scholarly readings of Torah can bridge classical legal principles with modern scientific knowledge to solve contemporary problems, including environmental crises. This is according to research in the press. Being pro-reconstruction means being pro-environmentalism. Modern Marxist literature conducts the protection of life, property, and dignity with environmental stewardship. Some scholars, such as Abdullah bin Baya and others, vision as an integral part of the Maqasid objective. Case studies show how religious practices grounded in classical texts can be reconstructed into conservation activities such as tree planting, forest waqaf, taken from the Shabab Study Journal of Islam. So strong intellectual evidence from both contemporary and classic scholars, not just rhetorical but also in practice, for contextualizing or reconstructing drought and climate change mitigation through conceptual ijtihad, Maqasid-based approaches, and scientific mitigation. Indonesia faces several severe climate change issues, including climate-induced disasters, sea level rise, droughts, forest fires, and Islamic Torah provides strong ethical, normative foundations to address these issues.
The global environmental crisis we face today, from the climate change to the Torah's book as the fundamental Islamic reference, ensuring their contact relevant. I will give you the data. Fatwa of Indonesia Council of Scholars, number 86 of 2023, about global climate change control. I provided a moral and religious basis for environmental policy, and another data that come from Walhi website. Response of non-governmental organization and other scholars in this fatwa shows that fatwa can be normative tool to encourage the reconstruction of traditional. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now the opposition team, please state your arguments. 4 minutes starts now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, honorable judges, respected audience, and my fellow audience. Before I present our argument, let's define the key terms in today's motion. First, Kitab Turat. Kitab Turat, it means religious book written in Arabic local language using an Arabic script by past scholar that preserve classical Islamic knowledge. Not all context is relevant to modern environmental issues. Second, reconstructed. Rewriting or reorganizing text with misinterpretation. Thirdly, global mitigation is mean international effort to reduce the impact of climate change and environmental damage. So, reconstructing risks losing authenticity, better to apply towards as it is. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the reconstruction of classical texts risks to destroy the authority and the authenticity of its reason. Classical texts are written with a tight ijtihad methodology. Changing of reconstruction classical texts will cause etymology destruction. For evidence, a research from Azumardi Azra 2002 showed that pesantren maintain sanad traditions that sustain the Islamic knowledge. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you said that the book of Torah, ijtihad, the methodology, of course it is, but it's still not relevant with our issues right now because it was made at the past context. So the scholar which is made the Torah didn't feel the same problem like us nowadays. So it's not relevant to use the book of Torah to mitigate climate change. Thank you. Okay.
We have values in classic Torah, so we must take the important point, the main point of from the classic Torah. So because Torah is authoritative heritage. Okay, thank.
Although there is the main point and discusses environmental stewardship as a whole, it does not discuss the complex and complicated issue of climate change specifically. That still serves an ineffective tool.
Okay, yeah, because Torah is authoritative heritage. Changing the text without official procedure can blur the original meaning and weaken the authority of scholars. To the very historical context, classic Torahs were written between the 8th and 15th centuries, forcing them on to modern issues such as the global climate crisis may cause distortion. Thank you.
And for the next argument is, like what we said about earlier, environmental values existed in the classical text. Like what Kiai Nasaruddin said in the opening MQKI, he said that the environmental values already existed in the classical text. And we just have to implement those values, those environmental values into the nowadays era problems. And for the next argument, yes, interruption. Wait, no thanks. And for the next argument will be climate change mitigation is a technical global issue. Climate change crisis comes from the use of fossil energy and global capitalism. And the problem isn't in the values, but it's in the problem isn't in the values, but it's in the implementation. Like according to the IEA, there's 75% glass house emission came from the energy sectors like coal, gases, and etc. No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you so much. Now the opposition team, please ask a question. 1 minute starts now.
Okay, thank you for your time. I will question for you. If Turat's book are reconstructed, how can you guarantee they will not be influenced by global political or ideological interests?
Alright, now affirmative team, please answer the question. You have 2 minutes, your time starts now.
Okay, thank you for the question. Our main problem here is the climate crisis. We need to reconstruct the Book of Torah because of the Book of Torah already exists about the environmental, but it's not appear about especially for the climate change. So we need to reconstruct to make the main values about the climate change. If we not reconstruct the Book of Torah, it still use the old structure, the old values about environment. So we cannot think about the global politics because of our main problem now is climate change, not the global politics.
And as I'm sure that you are asking about the reintegration, that you are asking about the essence of Kitab Torah will still be intact, well, I can assure that the integration will be integrated, and even more so, will be more effective if the Kitab Torah is reconstructed, because then it will be more applicable to the modern world. If we still stick with the Kitab Torah that is in the past, then that only addresses the current environmental issues that were in the past, 100 years or 200 years ago from now, which is of course very different than the world that we face now. Thank you.
If you ask about the polity global, we need to reconstruct the Torah book for to continue that knowledge in Islamic boarding school. If we continue the Torah book to be reconstructed, we can get a more relevant, we can get a new something answer that's a more fundamental problem in this modern era. That's why we very need to reconstruct the Torah book for get an answer in this modern era, like climate change, pollution, and deforestation. Thank you.
And then we see that in the nowadays, the Muslim already lose from the Western because of a lot of technology, a lot of solution is appeared by the Western. So we need to reconstruct the book of Torah in order to make the name of Islam increase again, in order to make the Islam known by the other country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now the affirmative team, you can ask a question. You have 1 minute, your time starts now.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So my question is, if we teach the students in Islamic boarding school to keep the yellow book as how it is, but they see the forest collapsing and then the flood destroying villages, do you really think they will trust a tradition of Islamic boarding school, the tradition of Book of Torah in their hour of need?
I would like to ask, isn't refusing reconstruction essentially telling students that the Torah has nothing to say about the most pressing survival question of humanity, while at the same time claiming how Islam is mercy to all others?
Okay, the last question is, if the yellow book continue to be taught without the reconstruction, isn't that the same as letting students read an incomplete manual on that speaks of moral duty but is silent on the greatest moral test of our era? Thank you.